I want to go into layoffs before I get into streaming services and price increases. I want to get into layoffs. So make sure I hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
Right now, Target is preparing to cut 1,800 corporate jobs. That's about 8% of its corporate workforce. The Minneapolis-based retailer says it's laying off 1,000 of those employees and then just getting rid of 800 open positions. Our Joe McCoy is live in Minneapolis tonight with more on the ripple effect that this really will have in the downtown area. Joe.
Well, Jennifer, this evening I spoke with the CEO of the Minneapolis Downtown Council, and he tells me that this is tough news for the city that is greatly impacted by Target's presence. Target's main headquarters
I didn't even realize that Target's headquarters was in Minneapolis.
in downtown Minneapolis will soon have more empty desks as the Minnesota-based retailer announced it's eliminating 1,800 corporate positions.
It's tough news for the city, and it's really tough news for the families and the people affected by the news.
Adam Dunick, CEO of the Minneapolis Downtown Council, says this is a gut punch to downtown.
This is a major Target town. I tell people that all the time. Target has a huge impact here, from the employees it employs to the other businesses that do business with Target around.
This summer, Target announced current COO Michael Fidelke will take over as CEO in February.
So it is a time of transition.
U of M Carlson School of Management professor Paul Valler feels this move was made now in part to show investors Target is serious about bringing expenses down.
What did I say that a company's largest obligation is to who? Their shareholders. They only care about investors and shareholders when it comes to the numbers, so people could say and do what they want to do. The people, the workers, the employees. Let me tell you something, because I know that it was a big deal about Target boycotts and all of this other stuff. The people are the ones that's going to suffer. They're still going to hit their targets. It's still going to be the CEOs and stuff that make money. And then the shareholders are going to demand that they make some adjustments so that they can bring back shareholder value and inflate the cost of the stock or the price of the stock. And so y'all think that it's somebody else that's going to suffer. It's not. It's not. You know what they're going to do? They speed up innovation. And speeding up innovation, hey, listen, we're going to get rid of the 800 open positions that we got in corporate. We also going to lay off another 1,000 people. And then we're going to have cross-platform functionality. We're going to have synergy. We're going to put more work on you. And we know that you need it. And so in order for you to be able to survive, you're going to have to do the work because you feel like it ain't no jobs out here. And we're going to include AI to make things easier for us.
As the company faces 11 consecutive quarters of flat or declining sales.
I expect, for example, that there'll be an increase, a bump in the price of Target stock tomorrow morning.
Target says 1,000 employees will be laid off and 800 open positions will be eliminated, about 8% of the global headquarter team. In an email to employees, Fidelke said, quote, "The truth is the complexity we've created over time has been holding us back. Too many layers and overlapping work have slowed decisions, making it harder to bring ideas to life." For the Minnesota-based employees who are losing their job, Valler says they should have an easier time finding a new job because the Twin Cities is a headquarters economy.
So the good news is that there's a really strong market for this kind of talent, administrative talent, middle market areas for it within the Twin Cities.
The employees impacted will continue receiving pay and benefits until January 3rd. Workers, however, won't know until this upcoming Tuesday if they are being laid off. And Target is asking all U.S. headquarter employees to work from home next week.
Yep, you know what that means. Phone calls. That's what it means. Hey, listen, all U.S. employee headquarters employees, y'all work from home next week. Then they're going to fire y'all on a Zoom call like they did on the movie Up in the Air. Hey, U.S. employees, headquartered, make sure everybody work from home next week and then come on in the week after. And then if you still see yourself coming in, then you still have a job. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and let you go. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and let you go. That is basically what they are telling you. that you will be let go, possibly. And if I was a Target employee, I would be trembling in my boots. I would be trembling in my boots. Oh man, babe. Man, what's going on? Where's the governor that said that he was going to help us and he was going to transition? That we had one of the most robust economies this way, this going out this way. Additionally, automakers are adjusting.
Hard to parse because you're seeing GM and Ford have these, strong earnings reports, huge moves in the stock. President Trump is taking victory laps over this on Truth Social, and yet this morning our colleague David Welch in Detroit had the scoop that GM.
So basically, what this is speaking on is the fact that companies are right sizing. And Ford, for example, during their latest quarterly call, and we're going to go over this on Stock Club, actually beat, and they are more profitable than they expected or than analysts expected.
Is laying off hundreds of workers. So you have this situation where, as you say, the amount of sales these companies are pulling off with full-size SUVs, the Ford Expeditions, the Chevy Tahoes, those sorts of vehicles are really hot. And in some cases, as good as these companies have seen in something on the order of 2 decades. And yet, also with that, real cost issues in terms of tariffs, I think maybe not the worst case scenario that they were concerned about months ago, but absolutely those were still headwinds. I think there is a concerted effort on the part of these two companies, however, to sort of really thank Trump for these sort of incremental bits of relief that he's taken off from of the measures that were put in place earlier this year.
Is that part of it done? Is that part of the story over, or are they
If you guys can, and I know that some people don't feel like they're able to,
still working
but
to
if
kind
you
of
guys
continue?
can, try to prevent yourself from buying. And I'm saying this to you guys because I know that we are small in the scheme of things, right? As far as how many people actually are buying and financing and purchasing new cars. Y'all need to prepare yourself. And when I say prepare yourself, I move with an abundance mindset. I'm not saying prepare yourself to try to hunker down. No, you need to put yourself in a position where you don't have to spend a lot of money on car notes so you can spend more money investing in yourself. We're going to have a major buying opportunity, in my opinion. And I'm going to go over this on Stock Club. We got a major opportunity that's going to be a buy opportunity soon. And if you're not liquid, if all of your money is tied up in a crap that you can't actually justify, then you're not going to be able to benefit off of it.
Whittle away at some of the costs imposed by the president's policies?
I think it's still very much a live issue, and interestingly, some of the attempts to sort of curry favor with the White House seems to be around actually sort of applauding his move to put new tariffs in place on medium and heavy trucks. And the reason that they are appreciating that is because their rival Stellantis makes big Ram pickups down in Mexico. So it's a case of actually 2 players in Detroit kind of ganging up on the third and sort of praising Trump. And I think that was one of the interesting storylines out of last night's earnings, that Ford sees sort of some incremental opportunity to take advantage of the fact that one of their big competitors now faces much more of a tariff bill on those larger pickups that are made down in Mexico.
Craig, reading between the lines from the GM release and then the Ford results, it feels like these companies are stepping back on the margin from EVs.
Congratulations, Monique, for paying off your car last month. Congratulations. That's dope. I love it. Don't get another car note for a while.
Investments, and that seems to be one of the things that the street is applauding here. How do you read it?
I like that.
I think it's a little different across these two companies, where you have GM is much further along, I would say, in standing up battery capacity, standing up EV capacity as well. So they, I would say, on the other hand, have
PJ, I'm gonna talk about it on November 1st.
kind of on one hand have more EV potential and more battery potential to work with, and haven't quite sort of cut to the bone in terms of what they have to offer. And yet I would say it's also been the case that it's fair to look at sort of what they've managed in terms of how many EVs they're selling. And fair to say that it's been a real disappointment. We've not seen the ramp up in demand that was hoped for, even in the times when we were able to take advantage of $7,500 federal tax credits. As we know, that those days are now gone, and so you're seeing GM cut back. I think Ford's cutting back sort of predated some of these policy changes, and it's more to do with the fact that they've just been losing so much money on that side of the business, and have a little bit less to work with in terms of progress in scaling up the business and bringing down costs.
I think that there are the difference between the haves and the have-nots are going to be stark. I think that so many different industries are going to be upended when it comes to the amount of people that actually are qualified for the jobs that we want. I honestly see a lot of women deciding that they just want to be stay-at-home mothers, or they want to just be stay-at-home wives or girlfriends or whatever it is that you want to do. I think that there's going to be a massive adjustment in the marketplace. I think that you're going to have to get educated in the industries that are going somewhere. I also think that the cost of doing business, the wages, are going to go down, or they're going to stay stagnant, because there's so many different people in the marketplace. And if you have a good job, I think you need to hold on. If you got a good job, hold on to it. If you get a really nice and decent salary and you work for an industry that is really stable, but then you have another opportunity to come up, be very careful of leaving the job that you have and the stability that you have right now, because right now it just ain't kicking it like that. It ain't slapping like that.